Today, we're talking Destiny 2. Bungie is ending support for the live service giant and the community is melting down. Plus, Subnautica 2 is exploding in early access, but fans are already fighting over fish murder. Should survival mean combat? And 007 First Light launches next week with a younger, modernized Bond. Is this the refresh the franchise needs or a huge gamble? Stick around for all that and more. Welcome, friends, to Good Playing with You, your weekly gaming news roundup. I'm Dan Whitehill, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in Pixels, Matt Lord.
Hey, how's it going?
We've got a packed show today, but before we dive in, we're only 83 subscribers away from our goal, so if you're watching on YouTube, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe. It really helps us out. All right, with that out of the way, let's jump into the headlines of the week. First up, we have to talk Destiny. Crazy story, my friend.
Yeah, no, seriously, like what the hell? I did not see this one coming.
Let me read the story for the listeners, and then we need to talk. We got things to talk about. All right, Bungie unfortunately made it official yesterday in a post titled, "Every End is a New Beginning" on their blog. The studio says June 6, 2026 will bring Destiny 2's final live service content update, and that after almost 9 years, the game's active development is ending as Bungie shifts to incubating its next projects. Destiny 2 originally launched in September 2017, so this is the end of one of the biggest live service runs in modern gaming. Bungie is at least trying to make the send-off feel substantial. It says the June 9th update, Monument of Triumph, is meant to be a collection of love letters to players, and it includes a permanent Pantheon 2.0 with rotating boss content, major raid and dungeon loot updates. Sounds like they're doing like a clean sweep against all the loot, making sure it's all relatively leveled. A full Destiny 2 collection bundle with a permanent markdown on older content, so it sounds like a new way to acquire the game and get all the content. And the return of Sparrow Racing League as a permanent mode. This also didn't come out of nowhere. Bungie had already delayed the update from March to June, and that happened while Destiny 2 was clearly struggling to recover. Major expansions used to push past 300,000 concurrent players on Steam, but Edge of Fate couldn't even reach 100,000. And by earlier this year, the game had fallen to around 11,000 concurrent players on Steam at its low point. And the reaction is exactly what you'd expect for a game this important. Kotaku rounded up players and creators responding with everything from D3 win to "I'm absolutely numb," while one furious reaction was simply, "What the fuck are they thinking?" And that pretty much sums up mood, grief, anger, nostalgia, and a lot of people realizing that this is really the end of an era for Destiny. So, Lord, what are your thoughts? Were you a Destiny 2 player, and what do you think's in the future?
You know, I'm gonna step in the hornet's nest. I've never been a very big Destiny 2 fan. I played some. I couldn't get the lore. I did not really going in, doing PvE every time, just running with the boys. It never stuck with me. Like, okay. I played a lot too.
Destiny 2 dies after an amazing run, and you're just taking this opportunity to crap on its grave.
I'm sorry. Here? So no. Well, then no. Believe me, I think it is a little bit more wild since so many people I know love to play this game. Like, I know you love to play this game. I have a bunch of friends who play it on the regular. They sank so much time, so it is absolutely beloved. It didn't really stick with me, and so it is. I mean, but regardless, I'm just one individual person. Like, I think the populace, yeah, exactly, like totally, like many things, and I think the populace, like in my mind, it was still such a popular game, and even the lowest, the 11,000 player mark is still like practically marathon numbers at this point, which brings me to my next point in this regards.
Well, wait, can I say, before you start to speculate here, I do have to say, it is a huge bummer that this game is gone, and I can understand 11,000 concurrent players not being enough, because this game was huge, and it offered so much, and I wonder if that kind of isn't what was the death knell. It tried to do PvP, PvE, then it tried to do Sparrow Racing, and it tried to do this, that, and the other, and then they kept changing cosmetics and level caps, and they were a Fortnite level game. That's exactly what it was. This wasn't like a smaller level game. This was huge, and it was great. I can't believe it's run. Like, I played with family members. I played with I made new friends on it. I mean, the key to this game really was not to like play it all the time. It was to dip in and out as they
Totally.
would put content packs on sale
Totally.
because things were a little overpriced. But it was cool. It was always a go-to multiplayer game that wasn't like shoot 'em in the face Fortnite style. It was a little more relaxed and you had some adventures. And man, I had so many good memories with this one. Like, getting together for, with my buddies to do my first raid, and I had to get on Reddit and I had to look up. There was a whole subreddit dedicated to raid Sherpas for Destiny, and I found this really nice guy. I talked Molding into it and a couple other friends, and I had this Sherpa guy lead a group of us through it, and it was just so cool because raids are just like they're next level, and I'm much more of like a filthy casual, but I figured I'd have to try it one time. So many good experiences with this game, and while it wasn't one I played all the time every single day, I was dipping in like every year or two, and it will be missed for sure.
Yeah, and would you say there's going to be other games that are going to last this 12-year mark like Destiny 2 did?
I think that there's an opportunity here. There's now there's some space, in the market here for
True.
someone to corner this. What this game did and the niche it kind of filled, though, was different than these live service elimination style shooters. This was an adventure game with your buddy that had rotating dungeons and levels and RPG mechanics and loot grinds and lore and all that sort of stuff that these looter shooters and extraction games, no offense to your beloved Marathon and stuff, I know it has great lore, but it's much more shallow and repetitive to what this was a huge game, and a live service experience that you had with your friends, and it was full of adventure, and it isn't the same. So I feel like that there's still some potential out there for someone to kind of do this one.
Yeah. No, and well, I think Marathon's going to try to fill that
No,
void for some people. Well,
not
let
the
me tell you
same.
why.
Oh
Two
Jesus.
things. This is two very interesting points because Marathon has done a humongous PvE push out of nowhere. We're just like, guess what? PvE's coming to Marathon. And everyone's like, what? Well, I was like, what? Because I think uh wait, did I say PvP or PvE? I meant PvE.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yeah,
you said. Don't worry.
PvP is like I think the key to this game. I thought that made it so much more intense. So I'm like, okay, now we're just kind of taking the intensity down a notch. We're doing PvE. What's going on here? Then all of a sudden they announce season 2 is coming June 2nd for Marathon. And like you mentioned, June 9th is the end of Destiny. I don't think those are coincidental.
I do.
No, Marathon is dropping their second season. Destiny is going away. All the Destiny people that are looking to get into are going to buy into Marathon.
No way. No
Oh,
way. I'm
I
telling you,
I'm
no.
calling it.
I think
No, what?
marathons
I don't
marathon's dead next. Because here's
tell
the
me.
thing, no offense, but Destiny was a really smart shooter. Like there was this one dungeon where you had to do like these black and white puzzles, and you would have to get these motes of light by shooting guys in the light, and you would put them in the dark containers, and you would get dark motes. And it doesn't tell you this. Your team has to figure this out and basically play basketball and get these things to rotate spheres to open essentially the way forward. And that's just one example of the myriad of really intelligent dungeon encounters that they had. And they were puzzles for teams, and they had really great combat and bosses. Marathon, like, look, I appreciate if it's just going to be some bullshit horde mode, I can get that anywhere. And that does not interest me whatsoever. What Destiny did was so different than just a stupid horde mode. And that's why I'm not interested.
Oh, yeah, I will say definitely the PvP aspect in those maps, those are smart though. In Marathon, gotta say, lots of different layers to each map and getting stuff accomplished. I will say it's not just like dumb running around, which is great because I see that Bungie has the smarts and they definitely know how to make a good, intriguing map. But when it comes to PvE, I don't see how it's really going to work. I guess you can maybe do your contracts and stuff and you progress your levels just with PvE, but to me that is so boring. And I don't know. I don't think if you don't have that overarching like fear, like players could come in and swarm you at any point. I don't really see like what the computers are going to do. But I still think there's some correlation.
No,
I
they're
don't know.
so different, bro.
I, I mean
They are different
I
universes,
mean
literally and figuratively.
I well, okay, you're probably right, but it's worth keeping an eye on those marathon numbers around the 9th when Destiny goes away. Let's see if the marathon yeah, once Destiny 2 goes away, marathon numbers I bet are going to jump, and that's what they've been
I
playing for.
And I disagree. I think when this final bundle comes out, if they price it respectfully, I
Mhm.
think in the end, people are going to jump back in just to play all of the content. I feel like you're going to see
Yeah.
numbers spike for Destiny 2 because servers aren't going offline. So Destiny 2 is going to stay around.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that all the content updates are going to stop. And I think these people, I'm curious to see what this monument is and the boss modes and
Yeah.
all that sort of stuff. And I want a really good deal on the bundles because there were a lot of dungeons that you need specific keys for that were so expensive. So I'm like, I want a good deal and I want to go in for one last run. And it's just it's a completely different game than Marathon.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, they have a let's say they have a like a really big hill to climb with Marathon. It's not where it should be, and that's why I definitely think they're rolling out stuff to make it more player friendly, which I'm like, gosh, like I don't know. I loved how tough Marathon was. Like it was such a cool, unique experience. Trust me, Dan, once you play it, you're gonna be like, oh, Lord was right this whole time. What was I thinking? And I'll be your Sherpa. I'll be
Yeah.
your Sherpa in Marathon,
All
man.
right.
Come on.
I
But
need a
yeah,
new game and I need a new Sherpa. So that
yeah.
I might have to take you
So
up on that offer for
crazy.
sure.
Yeah, I know. But completely unexpected news. And yeah, I guess an end of an era, to say the least.
It really is. And what concerns me most is that they haven't announced Destiny 3. And you would think that they would
Yeah.
say, like, this, let's roll into this new generation just to get people hyped. But they didn't really say that. They said they're incubating new projects. And we all know Bungie has been costing Sony ever since they acquired them for
Yeah.
billions of dollars. I mean, Sony has been taking write down after write down, year after year on this company. It is
Yeah.
just, oh, it's not good. And so
No.
if they don't come up with something, I think they could be in serious trouble in getting the axe.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I also saw something. I don't know what I just saw a headline that saying that Bungie was considering some layoffs before jumping into Destiny 3 altogether. It was like this whole thing. So I'm like, oh gosh, Bungie at some point is gonna get hit with some layoffs, which really also sucks. So
I
not
agree.
looking good over there.
I agree. I do feel like I would love to see Destiny 3 though, because I feel like it was tough for them. They really figured out the live service model and they started doing the live service model before everybody else. And they didn't know how to monetize it very well. And they didn't price things very well. And then they shoehorned like certain packs and microtransactions and dungeon keys and all. It made it very confusing. But I think that the content there is the heart of it's good. And I feel
Yeah.
like they finally kind of figured it out. And if they launch clean with Destiny 3 and focus on what was really strong about it,
Yeah.
then I think it could have, a future as a franchise. Maybe not with them, maybe with them. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see for sure.
Crazy, crazy changes, my friend.
Crazy
Okay,
changes.
speaking of crazy changes,
Yes.
let's take a little Matt Lord moment here and check
I
in with the
Oh
Lord Manor
man.
household. What's going
Can you
on?
believe it? Well, listeners out there, loyal listeners, yep, I'm about to be dad number 2. So I got a little baby on the way, my friends, and it's coming soon. Like literally could be even this evening as we're recording this. You never know. It's like it's a wild ride. Already, have a sweet little 3-year-old daughter as right now, but yeah, we're having another one on the way. Gonna take a little bit of time off of the pod. Not long, maybe like
But
like
don't
4
worry, the
weeks.
pod's not going
The
away.
pod's not going anywhere. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Just taking pod's still gonna be here. Dan's me holding it down.
Molding's actually going to come join us for a little bit.
Malding's coming in. We got some
Yeah.
great hosts lined up. Just a little bit of paternity leave here,
And
and
congratulations, my friend. That's got to be
thank
so
you.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's crazy. Like the second one feels very surreal because you only have like little bits of, probably like right before you're going to sleep, you like get this realization that you're about to have a second baby. Like you don't think of it that much because you're so busy with the first, and you just kind of lay there and wonder, you're like, life is going to be wild. And I'm already, like, gaming is such a luxury in the wee hours, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna need to like really, like, I'm gonna have to brush up on the Steam Deck. I'm gonna have to get very creative. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy. And oh, you know what though? Speaking of, so Ro and I have been playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder together.
No way. That's
Yeah, she's
amazing.
been love 2 player, and she's been loving it. Like she's good. It's crazy. So I might have some gamer girls out on my hands. Yeah, but if I didn't mention, yeah, another little daughter. So I'm gonna be serious girl dad over here.
And have you guys already picked out a name, or can I not ask that?
No, I mean, you can. We really don't have a name, so there's a good chance like she's gonna be. I'm gonna be catching her in my arms. We're having a home birth, so yeah, we're just catching her in my arms,
You're
and
a wild man. That's awesome.
then we'll see. Maybe the name will come to us then. It's yeah, wild.
Well, can you send us some like sort of like small video snippet or an update or a voice
Oh
note or
yeah,
something I could add into the podcast in the next week or two,
for
or even
sure.
just a photo that I can throw up on our website or the
Yes.
Facebook or something?
Yep, definitely. I will provide for sure. I'm sure we're going to be taking like hundreds of thousands of photos. So, yeah, exciting times over here. I I seriously like feel like, man, I am about to be up. Like I'm about to be pulling those all-nighters again. Like
For sure.
we're hitting the reset button on the old SNES, like sliding that thing, and just
When can
excited. It's
you
very exciting. But
when you can you make Ro in charge? Like that's what you need to do is like
I
set it up to where
know.
she
I
takes care.
know. Yeah, I mean, she's already there. She's so luckily, yeah, first daughter, Ro, she's like so excited, and like she's ready to jump in and catch the baby too. She wants to deliver the baby with. I'm like, all right, let's go. So she's a wild woman out there. But yeah, she loves, it's so funny, Dan. I was like, I have to tell Dan about Mario Wonder. Like she loves
I
turning
love
into an
it.
elephant, and like, dude, she has a blast. So yeah, it's crazy.
Well,
But yeah,
when she goes pro, she can stream on our channel. She's welcome to
totally,
join the pod.
totally.
It could be
Oh yeah,
amazing.
for sure. And I'm a little bit bummed. Like, I mean, it's worth saying, like, some of the great summer showcases are coming up, so I'm gonna be MIA for those. But I'll be listening. I'll just be turning into a listener myself, and listen to all the good stuff coming out of the
Yeah,
show.
well, definitely give us your feedback, your advice, and all that sort of stuff. You're about to go Dad 2.0, my friend. Most exciting video
Crazy.
game in the world.
Yes, it is. It's wild.
Please give Audrey our best. And again, congrats
Yes.
to you. You will be sorely missed, but I can't wait
Thank you.
for all of your updates in the group chat and to share them with all of the listeners.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Awesome. All right, with that news, let's jump into Subnautica. Let's talk about that because that's been a little
Yes.
bit crazy this week. I've been playing a lot of it. I don't have you played it all?
I haven't played yet. I haven't
Okay.
played the second one,
Well,
but so
wait,
now I can't
wait.
wait to get your take.
Yeah, wait till you
Yeah.
hear my take. I might
All
have some,
right.
some
Yeah. So
advice.
let's. So yeah, a little bit of little spice coming out of the Subnautica 2 camp. So Subnautica 2 players are getting increasingly frustrated with one major design choice. You can't really fight back against the game's hostile sea creatures. Unlike the original Subnautica, the sequel removes most offensive options entirely. Right now, players mainly have flares and weak defensive tools to deal with aggressive creatures, constantly attacking them during exploration and resource gathering. And according to developers at Unknown Worlds Entertainment, that's intentional. The studio says Subnautica 2 is meant to be about surviving alongside the ecosystem, not dominating it. One developer even told players looking for combat to go play Sons of the Forest, which immediately sparked backlash online.
Ooh.
The problem is that many players aren't actually asking for guns or full combat systems, they just want meaningful ways to defend themselves. Critics say some of the game's larger predators have become more annoying than scary, especially during mandatory objectives where you're stuck in one area getting repeatedly attacked. And the debate has gotten so big that modders already have stepped in A new PC mod now lets players kill creatures entirely, basically restoring the kind of defensive gameplay the original game allowed. What's interesting is that even players defending the game's pacifist approach still admit the game's balance feels off right now. So the real debate isn't whether Subnautica 2 should become a shooter, it's whether survival games still need to give players some way to fight back. Unknown Worlds is already responding to the backlash over Subnautica 2's no killing fish debate, saying the team is working on better creature deterrence, less aggressive enemy behavior, and more ways for players to defend their bases. But the studio still insists the game won't add traditional weapons or turn into a combat focused survival game. So, Dan, I mean, you've been playing this. Is this a big red flag for them to remove something from the first game? Like, from an outside in, I feel like that's kind of like a what are they doing here? What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think to be honest with you, this game is for a certain crowd, and it's not for everybody. And unfortunately, I think everyone's trying to get in because the hype this year. I think GTA was originally supposed to come out this summer. It didn't. There's not a lot of games to play this summer. So, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, I'm all hyped for. This one, I was all hyped for because we don't really have the big games that we normally had. This was more of a niche title back with Subnautica 1, which is
Mhm.
much more about base building and being peaceful. And yes, there was combat, but that wasn't the goal. You weren't like skinning animals and getting resources, that sort of stuff. And so the fact that it's not here, I just feel like they didn't. This game kind of went mainstream, and it wasn't made for the mainstream. That's what I think's happening here, and people want this to happen in the game. They want to be able to hunt animals, and I gotta be honest with you, I 100% agree with them because I don't feel like there was enough of a game there to really hold it on its own without any sort of like fun interaction and hunting with animals. But that's not to say that there aren't other problems with the game that they need to fix first. Now, I get this is early access, and for what they put out there, it was a lot bigger than the 8 to 10 hours I read about because you could spend tons of time getting lost, and there were tons of upgrades. But I got to be honest with you, getting lost is what I did the majority of the time in this game. I had my buddy, but it's like their little like radar system you build inside your base just doesn't give you enough information, and then they kind of drop little story elements here and there, and I don't know, like and you die a lot. That's perfectly fine. That's part of the game. In fact, like even the narrator kind of the one of the computers encourages it and that sort of stuff. So for me, yes, fish combat would make it a lot more fun because right now there just isn't enough there for me. And so this might be one of those games where I respect it, I understand it, but I'm going to put it down and I'm not really going to come back for another year or so.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised. Like, how do you expect players, just like I said, outside in? How do you expect players to like if you're getting attacked? What are you supposed to do? Like, I understand their statements, like, yeah, you're not supposed to dominate, but it's like, hello, like if you're getting like my expectation was like, I got to fight these guys, like I got to fight these fish.
I
What's
agree
happening?
because they do put objectives that have like these
Yeah,
shark elements and stuff like that. So for the first, I definitely do a lot of swimming away.
yeah,
Then
uh,
they have the flares, which I actually never really used because I got this like water pulse gun. You get it pretty early on. You
mhm,
can send out like shockwaves, and so that kind of pushes the enemy away, and they kind of like it's like punching a shark on the nose or
yeah,
whatever, and they just
yeah,
kind of go. So I use that a lot. I wasn't so bothered. Maybe I didn't make it far enough.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, interesting things like when the game first launched, it had a 446,000 player count on Steam,
Yeah.
and as of recording, it's at 100, a little over 100,000 players on Steam. So
But
that's
then
a pretty
also,
yeah, significant
yeah,
drop in players.
it
The
is, but at the same time, like, didn't it, how many did it sell or whatever? Hold on. Subnautica 2 outpaces Crimson Desert, Slay the Spire 2, and more to become Steam's fastest selling 2026 game so far, analyst says. They have already sold 4.1 million copies in their first week, generating over $100 million in revenue. So this, while it might not be, a perfect game, as a juggernaut, whether we like it or not. And I think all of that controversy that we were following for the past year helped it generate these sales.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, still, 4 million? That's insane amount of copies. I'm surprised the player count isn't higher. And I looked at it, I was like, this thing is a steady decline. I don't know if it's a fish combat. Who knows? Like, it's just like, and I love the new thing is now it's like, well, it's only a 10-hour game. I'm like, yeah, this is an exploration game. Like, people should be playing this like nonstop. I think the player count should be higher.
I think it's early access, and I also think this is a niche game that blew up. It didn't need to be this big. We just didn't have a lot to play this summer.
Yeah, that's
And I,
probably true. Like, I've talked more about Subnautica than I
right?
ever thought I ever would in my entire life. So it is.
You're like, and I don't care if I ever
Yeah,
fucking talk about
yeah,
Subnautica
yeah.
again.
I'm just like, I am amazed. Like, I mean, it is crazy. I do wonder if because I also looked at the first Subnautica game, and that game has
Mhm.
like almost 40,000 players now playing it too. Like I don't know if it obviously like rejuvenated it a
It
little
went on
bit.
sale for $7 when this one came out, so it's kind
Oh,
of like,
that's got to do it.
yeah.
So who knows? Maybe I'll jump back in the first one or something and go kill some fish.
Yeah, kill some fish. Well, speaking of killing, let's talk about James Bond because this new game is coming out next week. Molding will be on the pod reading a
Yes.
review roundup. So
Yes.
while you're babysitting, you can listen to
Ah.
Molding tell you whether you should get this new game or not. It's looking pretty slick. It's looking pretty big. And you had an
Well,
article for us about some of the changes.
I did. So let's jump in here. All right. IO Interactive says this version of James Bond in 007 First Light won't lean into some of the character's older, more controversial traits, and that's already sparking a huge online debate. In an interview with PC Gamer, the studio explained that every version of Bond reflects the era it's made in, and that some elements of the classic character simply fall by the wayside in 2026. The developers specifically referenced moving away from the more sexist and misogynistic aspects associated with older Bond portrayals. Now, to be fair, Io isn't saying Bond suddenly becomes a completely different person. The team says this is still a confident, charismatic, reckless young Bond, just updated for mod audiences.
Oh, no.
And honestly, this fits with how the franchise has already evolved over the years. Daniel Craig's Bond was already way less cartoonishly womanizing than the older Roger Moore era versions, but online reactions have been all over the place. Some fans think this is a totally reasonable modernization, while others worry IO is sanding off too much of what makes Bond Bond. Reddit discussions are full of people arguing over whether the character's flaws are an important part of his identity or just outdated baggage the series should move past. What's interesting is that gameplay wise, IO seems heavily committed to the fantasy of being Bond. The game reportedly mixes stealth, gadgets, and hand-to-hand combat, and cinematic action inspired by everything from Hitman to Uncharted and the Arkham games, yada yada. So right now, the big question isn't whether 007 First Light looks ambitious, it's whether IO can modernize James Bond without losing the edge that made the character iconic in the first place.
Boo.
Okay. What
Boo.
do you think of the reaction time?
Okay, well, let me first say
What?
that all of the, sex that happened in the Bond game movies and stuff like that was consensual. So it's
Yes.
not like he was not, wasn't doing it. It's okay to be a horny person. I
Yeah.
am so sick of the horny police. This does not need to happen. And I think that video game designers are so scared of sex, but they're so like this industry is so fucking immature when it comes to sex that they're trying to excuse why this game is not going to have sex in it. And that is a big bummer because being suave and landing ladies was something that Bond was known for. It was fun. It was cool. And the ladies loved it. They were into it. It was consensual. Everyone was happy here. Everyone was happy.
Yeah, everyone's
I mean,
happy. Yeah, I agree.
I'm so sick of the horny police ruining everything. And it sounds like this game, these are the kind of things where people are like, it's gone to PC, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
there's a way to be PC that is polite and respectful for other people, and then there's taking away the fun, and this is taking away the fun.
Couldn't agree more. I think video games are a great outlet to live out a fantasy
For
of
sure.
somebody, and you're not
100.
in a modernized NPC. Bond is not what I'm looking to play. Like, ideally, I would rather play the damn. Why am I forgetting the GoldenEye actor's name? Of course, in the movie,
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that era of Bond. Like, come on. Like, I don't understand. I don't know. Just can we
This
just
is a
be
series of movies that actually had a movie called Octopussy, and I was like, when
exactly?
you're a little kid
Yeah,
and you hear that, oh, that's silly, like that's that.
yeah.
And then I just feel like,
Yeah.
so they're saying it's okay to shoot someone in the face, but to kiss a woman is offensive and not PC. Oh
I
my
know.
god. You know what? I think
I
IO are the real pussies here. If there's
oh, for
no
sure.
lip locking at the very least, they don't have to get explicit, but like if there's no lip locking, then where's the
Mm,
fun? That's half the.
no, we're not even getting that. This thing's gonna be.
I know, that's my
This thing's
fear.
gonna. This thing. I don't know. I have a feeling. I mean, it's got red flags all over it for me. But this is just like when I saw this, I was like, God, sorry, but this thing is done. But like
Yeah.
when they say this kind of stuff, when they're like, oh, we're modernizing it, I'm like, what you're saying is it's just like it's becoming bland. It's like back
Yes.
in the day, it you had character and you were allowed to have character, and even if it was crazy. And now I think we're about to get a very boring Bond,
Yeah.
which sucks.
And if you can't even have consensual sex, and it's just like, oh
I know.
god, you people are no fun. You are no
Exactly.
fun.
And that's what we're gonna get here. Let's be real, like
I
for sure.
agree. There's going to be shooting people in the face and just giving people hugs or something, and maybe a
Yeah,
handshake.
exactly.
So that's not
Exactly. And
suave.
Lenny Kravitz, of course. He's
Yeah,
gonna be
that
in
was
there.
a weird decision. So I'm
Weird.
okay. So this has made me a little bit. I want to love it on one hand, and I want to be super excited. So I'm curious what the reviews are next week. But the Lenny Kravitz of it all, I'm like, do they know what they're making here? This is a very weird decision. I'm not sure about this. Then Lana Del Rey comes out with that banger of a song, but if you listen to the lyrics, they are so generic and so just dead. Like they're so
Um,
stupid. It's
oof.
unbelievably uninspired. It's like you've got one life. It's life. It's a game. Are you gonna play? I'm like, who fucking wrote this? Like a fucking 5-year-old? Like those most cliche lines. And it's like, I get it. It's a video game, Lana. You're really good at what you do, but writing is not one of those things. So
That is
like, yeah. So
that
that
was
made
a
me a
fucking
little bit.
awesome impression. I'm glad. That
Oh
was
god.
so funny. All right. Well, don't be surprised if a short comes along that has that in it.
No,
Okay.
no, please no. On your way out,
On
you
my way
totally
out, I'm
put.
gonna leave you with that.
Yeah. No, but here's the thing. I think the guy who plays Bond, Patrick Gibson is his name, I think.
That sounds right. I
Yeah,
don't know.
he was the lead in Dexter, the original Sin or whatever. He was a really cool guy, and my hope was, man,
Yeah.
they're taking this, Bond thing seriously. They're putting some good money in it. They've got a great song from a great singer, and then the lyrics I'll won't pay attention to. Maybe he could be the next Bond. Maybe they could reinvent the Bond franchise with a younger star, and this is where the movies go with Amazon in the future. So that was my hope.
That'd be cool. I'd
So
be okay with that. I did like him when he did that whole when they did that in-depth interview and had him on stage or yada yada. I thought he seemed like a cool guy. I'm just hoping, give him some personality, even if it's flawed
yes,
personality. Like I
agreed.
agree. Like it said, it was like, dude, even if it's janky, that's what makes the character a character. I don't know. I feel like we really are getting lost in that. And I think you're right. Getting the PC action in there, and it's just these stories don't tell good stories because they're
Yeah,
just so busy being scared of getting in trouble, which
I agree.
sucks.
I agree.
Sucks.
Okay, speaking of things that suck, though, let's talk real quickly and touch on last week's episode. Everyone last week was talking about how
Sure.
GTA was going to
Oh,
surprise us with some more
imagine.
information or a trailer or a pre-order, and we were all pumped last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Apologies to anyone who listened to that episode, but womp womp. I'm sure you heard
Yeah,
Goose
Monday.
Egg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monday didn't happen.
I know, and you were so funny in the text thread. You're like, "Well, maybe it's going to be
12.
noon on 12 on
Yeah.
the West Coast," and like you were
Yeah.
trying to keep hope alive
I
that whole
was, and
day
I was
through
like,
the chain, and I
yeah.
really appreciated that. You were a
I
trooper.
I thought maybe I was like, no, maybe 12. Like it could happen. No, nothing. Crickets.
Okay, well, we do have some word from Strauss Zelnick, Take-Two's CEO, about what is going to happen next. So this was I guess he was interviewed by IGN, and he told them the first off that November 19th date is still locked, because the other thing on the internet, they're like, oh, it didn't come out because it's going to be moved, and so so then that rumor spread like wildfire. But I knew that was kind of bullshit, so we didn't bring it up here. But Strauss Zelnick came out and said, look, the date's still locked. It's still November 19th, and
That's good.
yes,
Love a
and
good date.
the marketing campaign will begin this summer, which, like we said on the podcast last
Yeah.
week, it would be surprising to go before E3. We knew they were going to go post E3 for this. And then Take-Two is clearly betting big on it, saying the company expects 2027 fiscal year to be a breakout year, led by what it's calling, quote, the most anticipated entertainment property of all time. So it sounds like they're still telling investors they're still planning on everything. This date's going to stick, and we can expect new information and trailer number 3 this summer. So that's something.
Yeah. I mean, awesome. I'm ready. Like give us something. I mean, what but
I agree.
was it not is there a trailer coming next week?
No, I don't know that enough. No.
No? Oh, okay.
I doubt they would do anything before the Summer Games Fest, which is going to
Yeah.
be while you are
Yeah.
babysitting your
Jeez Louise,
newborn.
everything's happening.
I know
Crazy.
no more sex for you in September,
I know.
because then in the following E3 time, it's the
Yes.
craziest.
No. I'm just yeah, trust me. There's none of that happening at this point. My God. Yeah, I mean, that's good. I'm glad we have like it makes sense that they're solidifying the date and saying, hey, this isn't going to change anymore. This is
Yeah.
it. Buckle up. And then, yeah, like we've already guessed correctly. I think everything's going to go down this summer. So it's going to be a big 3 to 5 month push. And
Yeah. I
we'll
think it'll
get the
be
game.
a really exciting fall leading into this for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So what do you think? So, okay, I know we got trailer 3 coming up.
Yes.
It's just going to be, what is it going to be? Just a release date trailer?
It'll be the pre-orders, but I know we've got to get that big one with the British lady that tells us all the things. So I think
you
that
want
will
that.
be
That'll be later.
yeah.
That'll be after summer. That'll be like
Yeah.
October.
Yeah,
Maybe
because you're right. I think the next trailer, it will again be the game with the pre-orders, and
Yes.
then we'll get a trailer for Grand Theft Auto Online later on, maybe
Oh,
October,
yeah.
because I feel like that's going to be a separate beast.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I
So
can't
it'll
believe
be
we're already here.
I know it's going to be an interesting fall, because there's so much up in the air, and that's what I'm dying to know about. Like with the Xbox conference coming up, I heard a rumor that Gears of War it's getting its own section of the conference. Is going to be, the rumor I heard was that release date was going to be put in September, but then previously Fable had been in September, so people are jockeying for that early fall time, because they know the atom bomb that is GTA is going to be in November. So people are jockeying now for that early. And I'm like, oh man, we heard a rumor in February that Fable was getting pushed to next year. I sure hope that's not the case here. So it'll be interesting to see. Our full fall schedule will be kind of set up in the next month or so with these E3 things. So definitely be stay tuned, because it should be interesting.
I don't know. I think I really wonder how much they're gonna launch and reveal tidbits about the game around these different showcases. If they
I
do,
think
I
they
mean,
avoid this. They don't need
they,
the showcases.
yeah, I don't
They're
know.
so
I'm like kind of wondering if they do now, though.
no way.
I
No
kind of
way.
wonder.
They are literally and figuratively rock stars. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
they
no,
don't
I
need
guess
anyone.
not.
Speaking of randomly on the side, by the way, I just
Uh-huh.
read that Red Dead Redemption 2 sold 85 million copies total. They
That's
released that one.
insane.
So that game is still selling like hotcakes. It's unbelievable.
85 million?
Yeah, and the franchise is now past 115 million. So like that's wild, and it's like
Oh
that.
my
And when I
god.
hear that sort of numbers, it makes me wonder, like, why haven't they grown? Why haven't they opened more
Yeah.
studios? Why are they not cranking out sequels more often? You know, that's sort of, even though, like, I know Red Dead Redemption 2 I bagged on a little bit, but I still want to see more of this high prestige, high end, super cool content come out.
Yeah.
And maybe, I'll like
It
the
makes
next
no
one even
sense.
better. Yeah.
They just being like Scrooge McDuck over there, just swimming in their coins and just, I don't
I
know.
don't
Like,
know.
are they just hoarding the money? I don't get
Well,
what they could be doing.
Well, they've got
Like,
a. I mean,
honestly.
okay, they had some shakeup though, and above their top brass. Leslie Benzies a little bit crazy,
Yes.
but when he left there, and they must have been breathing a sigh of relief, because then he's the one who started the Build a
Mi
Rocket Boy that
Mind's
made
Eye.
Mind's
Mind's
Eye.
Eye.
Yes, thank you. And then he initially touted some game that was going to make games. I forget what it was called, and Mind's Eye it became Mind's Eye. And then
Yes.
they told this whole story about how they were sabotaged, even though players got their hands on the game and it was one of the buggiest things ever. And then they're
I
like, but
actually have
no,
started to believe that there's definitely a possibility that game actually got sabotaged.
what are
Yeah,
you
I think that might have actually been true. I think he was telling the truth.
Well, okay, if the game had not launched buggy, then you can believe any sort of like into like you think it was the bugs were caused internally on purpose. Is that what you're saying? Oh my god,
I'm
you are
thinking
smoking some.
no, I think that is actually what I think seriously, like, I think the hate train I think more so I mean, the bugs were bad, but I think, like, I kinda have a honestly, I think Marathon has led me down this path, like, the hate train for Marathon is, like, the same level of hate train for Mind's Eye, in a way. It's crazy.
No,
Even though Marathon's riding it out.
I don't feel like anyone was paying any attention to Mind's Eye. It was just sitting over there and we're like, huh, it looks kind of interesting, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's not open world because you're
Mm.
advertising like it's open world. Oh, it's only got a few missions and then it's going to grow into something else. That's weird. That's not what you have promised. And then boom, it comes out. People play it and they're like, this is the shittiest game ever. And then they're like, we were
Well,
sabotaged. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
I
You were
think
not
also
sabotaged.
but Rockstar would have you know, they would have a horse in the race to make sure that open world game doesn't succeed on the leading up to GTA 6.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I could see it. I could see it.
No, no,
I think
no.
there's more corporate sabotage going on behind the scenes than we even know. I
Well,
think.
I'm not familiar with any of it, but
Neither am I.
I want to get in on it though. So they should hit us up. We could
Dude,
be
seriously. I,
saboteurs.
I'm ready to corporate sabotage any day of the week. Let's go. I just don't understand like I don't understand how you could even say that in like at all without there being some sort of fragment of truth to it. That's my take. Like I
I
don't
can
even think
tell
you
you.
could be crazy enough to say that. Even if
Oh
you're
well,
crazy.
I think there could be some. I think people that I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything that gets me
Yeah.
fired. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be quiet.
True,
I'm
true, true.
like,
Yeah.
I'll just moving on. We
Moving
should
on.
also, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, one more story I want to tell you about that I thought was really interesting was Xbox just launched a new feedback portal. So, like, they're not trolling Reddit the way most companies are
Yeah.
nowadays. They wanted to build their own version of Reddit, I guess. And fans have gotten really loud already, giving them feedback. Essentially, the story is Xbox launched a new site called Xbox Player Voice, and people can request things. They've said your input, they'll listen to it, but they're not guaranteeing that they'll do any of this sort of stuff. But they want to hear people's ideas. And at the moment, there are the top 7 requests that I thought were very interesting. So, Lord, would you like to know the top 7 requests of the Xbox community?
Oh, absolutely. This is gonna be gold.
Yeah. Okay, number one was bring back exclusives.
Oh yes.
It is embarrassing when you have your community trying to tell you how to run your company, and that's essentially what's happening
Yeah.
here. They're saying your console isn't special enough. You need to make your console. Please make us want to buy your console. Thanks. That's what
Uh,
I'm reading here
that's what
from
it
their
sounds like to
audience.
me. That's
Yeah,
what it sounds like to me. I mean, who would have guessed that there was so many voices to demand that? That's incredible.
agreed. I was, especially because we always had Molding on the pod
I
who's like,
know.
exclusives are awful. Everyone should play every
Yeah,
game. Oh, no, no. And I get that to a point too, but I
me too.
also get you got to stay in the game and you've got to stay competitive and you need to give people a reason to buy your console in the first place. So I see both
Interesting.
arguments.
Me
Yeah, it
too.
was interesting. And then the second one that could be, a part of the future, they said make online multiplayer free.
Great. Love that.
Yep.
Hopefully they listen to that.
Third one, expand the backwards compatibility project because they kind of put it on hold
Great.
and they haven't done. I don't know what else we're missing. And there must have been I didn't read in the comments or whatever, but there must be some people missing some old
Yeah,
shit.
no,
That's
I
all I
feel
can
like
say.
they've done a pretty good job with that, to be honest. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know how much more we can really, how many more resources we need to put in. Xbox has done the best out of any platform to make sure people can play their old games. So,
agreed. All right. So I'm going to jump through a couple
yeah,
more and then
do
I
it.
want to hit number 7 and I want
Okay.
your take on that one.
Mhm.
Okay, so number 4 was improve achievements. They want, I guess, more definitive achievements for DLCs and all that sort of stuff, which is understandable. I love it. I would love to see achievements improved even further. Number 5 is add an Xbox Game Pass family plan. Totally makes sense. I love that. We would I'll have to share that one. Number 6 is come back to Brazil. Our poor Brazilian brothers and sisters don't
Yeah.
have any Xbox representation in that country, I guess, due to poor sales. And so they have to import
Oof.
everything, but they made themselves very well known. So congrats to Brazil and reaching out and fighting the good fight. And hopefully Xbox hears you and you can jump online with us again soon. And then
Yeah.
the last one I wanted to talk to you about and get your opinion on is make sure the Project Helix has a disk drive.
Oh, nice. Okay, now we're getting into some real sauce. Good
Yeah,
for them. That's
right?
exactly what I want to hear. It makes perfect sense. Like if they do, honestly, I think preservation is most important through the physical media. So if Xbox wants to do its part, put a disk drive on that thing and let it play OG Xbox games. Like
For sure.
then you're doing your part, and everyone will be happy. That'd be sweet.
Agreed. I read all of those. I agree. There was some more and that sort of stuff, but then it kind of the quality fell off. And I read that one though. It totally
I
made
love
me
that.
think of you. And I was like, oh Lord, I'm like, has Lord already has he registered and started submitting
I
comments?
might have.
Was that you?
See, again, I'm so surprised so many voices spoke up about that. That doesn't seem like something, the way big digital doesn't want you to think that there's any disc handlers out there.
It could be
Good for them.
sabotage,
Could be,
public
could
sabotage.
be sabotage, man. Who
Exactly.
knows? But interesting. I love to see that. I mean, I love to hear that. I mean, that's at least that will plant some seed in the higher ups. Like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't go all digital. Like, this is big. So cool.
I agree. Yeah, it'll be curious to see how they handle that one. My guess is that they just build an external drive that's an accessory and then all
Oh,
consoles. I know, sorry, brother, but I think all consoles want
HD DVD
Yeah,
back again. Remember that thing?
it
Holy,
was. I know. Oops. Sorry, Microsoft. That one didn't work out on the
that one.
360.
No, that thing failed.
Ugh.
But hopefully not that way. I hope it's internal, please.
I agree. We'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, though, definitely keep us posted on all
Yes.
things Lord
I
family. We
will.
got to start wrapping up here. But
Yes.
as you take your time off, again, congratulations.
Thank you.
I would totally miss you, and I know that the rest of the listeners will. Wish you the best,
Miss you
and we
too.
want to hear about everything and the name of your new daughter and all that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll send updates, send pics as quick as possible. So the pod and its listeners will be the first to know.
Awesome. Please do. All right, well, on behalf of my buddy Matt Lord and myself, Dan Whitehill, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and as always, good playing with you.
Good playing with you.